Hi guys, welcome to Bitcoin Bounce. Let's quickly run through our charts. Just want to start with the news this week. So it's a very big news week, and it's going to have a lot of volatility in the market. You can see there's bullish and bearish news, all on high impact news events. So I think they're going to be messing with us. So it's going to be a dangerous week. I think it's already started. If you have a look here at the dollar, we've been trading in this between these two zones for like quite some time, and all of a sudden now we've just spiked today. Just through all the resistance which we've been struggling with before. You can see a few times there to break the 200. All of a sudden we've just shot through, come back, retested. So it just seems very manipulated to me at the moment. I think they're preparing for the first news event, which is later this afternoon. So just be careful. I think it's kind of going to be a week where you should take short scalp positions, but not get into any big long-term trade unless some kind of a trend unfolds. But for now, that's kind of what I would be doing. Let's just quickly have a look. You can see just if looking at all the charts, this is the dollar. So it had a big spike to the top side, and because of that, S&P 500 dropped, Nasdaq dropped, Bitcoin dropped. Dominance also kind of has stopped going up, it's just going sideways, and the money in crypto has left the building. We're back under the 1 trillion mark here, which we were hoping to actually get above and hold. So we're still below that. So I think guys are nervous for trading this week. Let's have a look at Bitcoin quickly. So this is on the weekly. So last week we found, or I think it was even more, a week or so ago, we had this symmetrical triangle we were trading in. We broke out. We said we might come back to retest it, so I kept it hanging around for a while. Then also there's just this little trend line here with a zone that I marked out that we would have to break above that zone for us actually to go up. So we have to break and hold that zone to go up. So it would also break the 50 EMA weekly. So price needs to break then. As you can see, we're struggling to actually break out there. Then if we jump down to the daily, we were trading in this parallel channel, so we're still in that, so we can keep that for a while, keep an eye on that. And then there was also this broadening wedge, which normally breaks to the downside, but for now we're trading just on the top edge there. But it could be that we, just looking at the daily, that we would come and retest the 20 and the 200 EMA. Then down to the 4 hour, there's actually quite a lot happening here at the moment. So firstly, we were trading in that parallel channel. We broke under that, so that's kind of been invalidated. So I'm going to delete that one off our charts. Then this one here, there was like this little triangle, and they normally break down to the bottom, which has happened. So it broke down, then came and just retested, and then broke down again. So I'm going to remove that as well. Then a new pattern is just this little symmetrical triangle that we're trading in. So this could go up or down. So we'll just keep that for a while. But just looking at the downside, yeah, if anything, I would be looking for a short here, because we've got the 20 above us. We like kind of testing the 50. So if we break this line, I would definitely get into a short, and target could even be as low as this 200 here. Then what I also found was a new little parallel channel that we've been trading in. So obviously also it's got that same danger zone if we drop down below it. Then also there's a possible head and shoulder. So that was left shoulder, the head. And it could be that we're forming just a, coming to retest at 20, maybe like wick up and then break down. So this would be a bearish pattern as well, breaking to the downside. So that's another bearish pattern we can keep an eye on. And then I just marked out this little support zone here as well, which seems to kind of bounce every time that we get in there. So I wouldn't get into a short too quickly. We would have to actually break below this support zone, and then I think you would. So you can keep all these patterns in mind, but to be safe, it would be good if we could actually come and retest kind of the bottom of this and then start going down. So don't get into a short unless you're scalping too quickly. And then just on the 1 hour, it looks like we could have a potential bear flag. Yeah, so the target for that could be, on the breakout, could also be to the downside around about 2200 roughly, 22,000, sorry. And it could also be that you could drag this flagpole up to there, and that would then give us a much lower 21,500 odd target. So it could be that this is going to play out, so that we have to be careful of, or trade it down. So everything kind of, to me, looks like we're going to go to the downside, which would play with today's news, which is kind of bullish for the dollar. So if dollar goes up, then Bitcoin and so on could come down. So I would look for good entries maybe on the 15-minute chart, and see if you can just get a good scalp to the downside here. But above us is just a lot of resistance. So this pinkish line here, that one there is the 200 MA, and this red one here is the 200 EMA. So the 20, the 50, the 200 MA, everything is above us here. So there's a lot of resistance above us. So I think this bear flag could actually play out, and we could get a good little short scalp to the downside. Then let's have a look at Ethereum. So we can also just start on the weekly there. Last week also we had this zone here, which I marked out. So we've been trading in the symmetrical triangle, and we've got this resistance or support. Where are we at the moment? We would have to just break through. It's a resistance here, so we would have to break through this and test it, which also is the EMA 50 for Ethereum. So we need to break out. You can see also we're kind of just ranging sideways and waiting for something to happen. On the daily, sorry, let's quickly get there. We were also trading in this parallel channel to the daily, on the daily to the downside, and we haven't managed to break out there. But yeah, again, there's lots of support below, so we'd have to see what actually happens here. So a lot of support for Ethereum on the daily chart. On the 4-hour chart, we were also trading in this little parallel channel, but holding above that little midline there. So it could be that with the breaking of the news, and if we do get a bounce to the downside, that you could do a short scalp down to this 200 EMA and maybe the 200 MA, and this is also the 800. So quite nice support here for a quick scalp on the 4-hour. On the 1 hour, we were trading also in like a narrowing wedge, so it could just give you targets. If we do go to the downside, we can just come and bounce off there. So it yeah, also could be a good little scalp just to the bottom of this line, and we might then just bounce back up, and then you could target the upside of this little wedge. The other pattern I found also on the 1 hour was this was a wedge, so a broadening wedge. So also this could come and retest the bottom of the wedge and then go to the top side. This is kind of, I think, more a bearish pattern. And then also just zooming in a bit, we had also like a little triangle, and I would also wait for us to break to the downside of this one, same as Bitcoin. So if we break down here, I think we could target probably the 800 here on. So this is on the 1 hour chart. There's a nice little scalp, I think, coming up, because you can see on the 1 hour we've got a lot of resistance above us, so it's good scalping territory. And these are just the levels that I would be looking at. We marked them out quite a while ago, and you can see we've been hitting the levels spot on. So if we do go to the downside here, I think we could go for this low that we made. I think it was actually today. Yes, earlier today. So this is the daily low. This could be the target that we're going towards if we break this little line, yeah, this trend line. So also here I would be looking for a scalp, and then just staying on the 1 hour chart. The other coins that we're looking at is ADA. So ADA has also got a lot of resistance above us. So, on the breaking of that news, if everything else goes down, I think we could also target on ADA the downside here. A lot of resistance to the upside. I think MATIC was also the same. So MATIC also got the 20 and the 50 above it, but it's kind of holding support here. MATIC has been quite strong lately, stronger than all the other coins. So MATIC is holding above the 200 EMA and the 200 MA. So MATIC depends what happens with the news, but if Bitcoin and so on starts to spark, I think we could run MATIC to the top side here. But potentially also, as I say, I think everything is going down, so MATIC would maybe just come and retest the 20 and then have a bit of a wick to the downside like we had here. But I would rather short the other coins. MATIC's like really looking strong here at the moment. I would rather just wait for a good entry on MATIC to buy to the top side rather. XRP is also looking quite strong. We had a strong bounce here off the 800 and now getting up to the 50. So depending on the news, I think we could have a nice spike back down. So maybe we're just coming to retest the 50 here on XRP and then bounce to the downside, news dependent. So these two are definitely different to the others, MATIC and XRP. They're definitely looking very strong at the moment, and you can see where all the other coins, the EMAs are like all bunched up. With XRP and MATIC, they're actually a little bit further, giving us maybe an opportunity to take a good trade here. So news dependent, you could either then from the 50 aim for this 200 and then the 200 MA at the top, or if we start going down, you could short it to the 20 here. If you go further down, back down to the bottom here. So one would have to, I think, just trade this on the 15-minute chart, keep these levels in mind, and see what happens with the news if you want to trade, and just trade between these EMAs. I think you can have winning trades just from that one to that one, that one to that one, that one back down, or so whatever happens with the dollar. I think you could then trade the opposite direction here on XRP. Then we were also looking at remember the trade we got in on was the WRX. So we hit the 10%. If you took profit there, then great. I'm holding for this 20%, so I still think that we're just consolidating here and actually going to have a nice run up to this 20. But if you did get out on the 10%, you could get back in and ride it back up. I'm personally just thinking that we're holding for the 20. I think we're going to have a spike like that one there on Wazia. And then AVAX that Joseph gave you guys is also still looking good. But I think Joseph got out here last week before the news events. I think Joseph advised you guys to get out here. So a good entry would be if we spike back down here and we find support on these 200s, so the 200 EMA, 200 MA, I think would be another good entry to run it to this target of 23 top side. And that's it from me today, guys. Joseph will be back a little bit later. But yeah, so overall, just all the coins are like just in between zones with lots of support either above or below them, and with big news this whole week. So I really think they're going to mess with us. So I think it's kind of the week where we keep an eye on the 1 hour and trade the 15-minute just for short little targets. As I think we're going to go up and down this whole week. Let's see what happens. Joseph will be with you guys a little bit later. Cheers, have a good day.